So I fucked this married bitch, and I mean she's fucking married, but anyway. She at some point, we went on an adventure and went to the nude beach up at Noosa, and then surfed in the morning afterwards, so it was just a big nice night. And I mean, she's the one that wanted to go to the nude beach, right? She didn't deny playing spin the bottle. I took us back to the 90s. It was good fun, but in the morning, like, she was asking more questions, and I was telling her about Mgtow. She didn't know about it, men going their own way, and I was just saying, besides the sexual thing, like the value argument, what does the woman even have to bring to me? And she just, in the end, she had no logical arguments. She just thought I'm being silly towards women when I said most of them don't do great work. And I repeated it, and I said, so give me an example of the majority doing great work. Because a lot of women are in finance. That's not great work, it's just finance. You see what I'm saying? Like, most women, their great work seems to turn into something very financial. Yes, you can do both at the same time, but it's very difficult. Like, if you're an artist doing your great work through your art, you're probably not going to make money to support yourself. I know, because I'm a philosopher, right? So it's the same thing. It's very hard for me to support myself via my, magnus opus focus, or my great work. If you're an author, same thing. Hopefully you sell some books, you know what I mean? But how do you begin that process? It's not easy. So on and so forth. Anyway, she had no argument other than to just say maybe that's why, you don't get along. Because now we're going to be friends, you know what I mean? Friend girl, I called her. Like, we fucked like crazy. She was super slutty. It was fucking hot. But then, we've said to each other, I don't want to make her feel guilty. She doesn't want to feel guilty. So we're just going to be friends. I said, yeah, I could use a friend girl, because I'm not, like, friends with any girls because of what we're talking about, right? Mgtow. What do they bring except for useless conversation? Their conversations are not even about magnus opus shit. Okay, maybe some girls talk spiritually, you know what I mean? But it's always stuff I know. Almost always. It's something along the lines of, I'll fucking know it, and I'll probably know it deeper. You know what I mean? I'll probably have researched it deeper, and I end up lecturing them on it. Sometimes they're thankful, sometimes they're annoyed. But it's that's the most case scenario. That happens most often. I end up already knowing what the fuck they're talking about. Like, if they're trying to tell me about Reiki and they go on about the guy making up the symbols, I'm like, no, it's got nothing to do with fucking symbols. The Japanese guy didn't make up Reiki. It's got nothing to do with symbols, right? It's seventh dimensional energy, blah, blah, blah. And, that pisses some people off because, they're too organic portal, they're too, official. And that's not always, correct, because a lot of people agree to it or can't do anything about it in another way, can't do anything other than the official, doesn't mean it's always correct anyway. I mean, it's a seventh dimensional light of healing. It's got nothing to do with symbols. So anyway, that's just an example. So my point is, women usually don't give me much. Like, is she cooking for me? Then you're giving me something. Are you riding my cock? You're definitely giving me, like, a good time. It's enjoyable. I mean, I can use my own hand, but it's a bit nice to lick a pussy and fuck it, right? So they're basically the two things, like magnus opus or sex, right? You either psychedeliate me or you sexualize me and get me out of the ego. They're the only two things that are worth anything. I mean, I can go to the shop, I can buy a sandwich. They're at very many shops. So unless she's making me a sandwich, sexualizing me, or psychedeliating me, like, there's nothing they can bring. And they're, like I said, often on the magnus opus thing, I'm ahead, and it's like I'm elite or something. She even admitted, she's like, yeah, you take it to another whole level. And I said, yes. But so did all the great men, and that's what I'm trying to say. There's only like 1% of us ever around who are, higher light body, higher enlightened souls doing great work, right? It's very rare. Anyway, so she ended up just having no argument back and just saying maybe that's why you don't have a lot of, friend girls that are just your friend. And it's like I almost had to start the whole thing all over again and reiterate the points again. It's like she didn't fucking listen. Right? It's just a cognitive dissonance. And this is what I face almost every single time, because I tell a lot of chicks, by the way. It's pretty funny, right? I fuck them and then I start telling them about Mgtow. I don't know, I'm bored. Shut up. It's fun. I don't know, I like to press women. It's funny because they get so offended so easy, so it's amusing to me. I'm sorry, maybe that's a little sadistic. But it's hilarious sometimes, their reactions. They just get so upset about like nothing. And the woman hate, they think it's hating women, but I'm not. And I said to her, look, you're right. A lot of guys, most guys are in the same ballpark. And I started telling her about organic portal theory, connecting it to simulation, blah, 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 holographic theory, this, that, and the other, energy extraction matrix, right? But this is walking people down the middle. So unless they have all that information on the side, even if you tell them the perfect middle explanation, like the golden way shower explanation, and show them the way, because they've got so, so few bits of information on it, they can barely like register it. You see what I'm saying? So even if I say the complete beautiful truth, it's not taken in because most people cannot or do not pursue the way, right? And in my opinion, the way is up and out of here, by the way. That's why I talk about Rainbow Bridge and all that. The bridge builder. Anyway, to what I was saying, like in the end, all she was saying was, oh, maybe that's why you don't have like girlfriends, like friend girls. And I'm like, yes, but did you not understand what I'm saying? It's not that I want more. I said that to her. I said, what am I going to do? Am I going to get 1,000 girlfriends? And then what? Well, I'm just going to be busy all day talking shit all day. She had nothing to reply to that either. You know what I mean? So, I know, I'm going to keep going on about this. I'm just going to keep reiterating it. At some point, it's either going to, creep its way into the mass consciousness, or someone's going to come for me and interview me, or this, that, or maybe I can gather enough and write a book. But my hope is at some point it gets through, right, into the mass consciousness and reprograms people. And by the way, it's not negative. Why do they get so upset? Even her face was so upset and went into, oh, he just hates women. Obviously not, because I'm with you and you're a woman. I didn't say that to her, but, on the facials, I was like looking at her like, oh my God, she's super offended. Right, so like I'm taking her through this argument over and over. It's the same argument basically. So it's no skin off my back, because I just keep reiterating the well-known established points. You see what I'm saying? So they always get mad and stop the conversation, or let's talk about something else like she did. I'm like, well, you're the one that's bringing it up, and now you want to talk about something else because you can't logically proceed. That's why I don't have a girlfriend, because girls cannot logically proceed, especially in a relationship. They get too attached to me after the good sex, then they need it, and if I don't give it properly, like, if we don't hang out enough and it's not enough, they start to get emotional just off that. But even if you just give it to them once, they're in a connection to you. They're already wifing you up. A lot of these younger chicks, no. Gen Z, no, they're a bit way more slutty. I'll tell you what, I've had a few of those girls, and they don't even want to be your girlfriend. Doesn't matter how good you do it to them. They don't even want you to be their boyfriend, I'll tell you. Did I say girlfriend? They don't want you to be their boyfriend. You know what I mean? There's some serious sluts, those young girls. We've seen a lot of videos coming out where they think they're racking up bodies is good, these young chicks. It's getting into Gen Alpha soon too, but I think they're a bit more prudish. But Gen Z, oh my God, they're either fully alone and full little bitches, or, they're fucking the sluttiest girls I've ever known. And like, you couldn't even wife them up. You wouldn't even have a chance to wife them up. They wouldn't know how to be a wife. It's like dead in them. So that's where the feminine movement has gotten them, just into empowerment, trying to be men. So they're like trying to slay guys. Like, oh, I had sex with 20 guys today. You know what I mean? Like a guy would say that to their friends, to their guy friends. Oh, I nailed 2 chicks today, or whatever, you know. And these young chicks are trying to do that. It's like amazing that they don't realize that that's yuck. That's like actually a full-on turn-off to like all guys except for full-on simps. Because the full-on simps, they can't get any anyway. So that's their like only hope with just some fucked up slut. Like they're pretty and shit even. So it's amazing. But remember I said, you know, women are men now as well. They're holding the light. And the man is meant to be loving. But that is, in my opinion, very dangerous, turning us to bitch men very easy and simps, right? And it's not the male way. It's not the male way. He has to be direct and he has to say it. Doesn't matter how hurtful the logic is. I have to get it out. That's my job. As man, head of spirit. Anyway, so, you know, over and over again, she just had no argument, but she ended up with, oh, I've got a problem. I could tell. That was like the last sentences, like, coming out of her mouth. Or maybe that's why you don't have girlfriends. To which, like I said, what am I meant to do? Am I meant to just befriend every girl just to talk to them and waste all my day on 1,000 girls just in conversation? Right? Well, that's where it leads. Tons of text messaging for no fucking reason. See, on the contrary, my view is, you know, only if you're going to open those legs. And it's not some soulless thing. Because for me, I'm a healer and I'm very good in the bed and I heal these women every fucking time. Give them really long cunnilingus and everything. I'm really good at licking. And they love it every time. They love it. They're fully healed. They have no, like, trauma. Like, at the start, they're all traumatic and shit. Like, I fucked this other girl the other day on the beach. And funny, they're both 42. So you can't say I'm a pedophile. But, yeah, and this one's just coming out of a marriage, the second one. And, you know, she was so traumatic. It took me an hour to get her underwear off. You know what I mean? Like, it took me an hour to kiss and massage, and it's like, fuck. I had to just be slow and persistent, and eventually, you know, she realized, oh, what am I doing? And she took them off herself. So, there you go, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not making this shit up. I know trauma when I see it. And she's been telling me about her trauma, right? And sexual healing, obviously. Get physical. You need to get physical. And I think that's what a lot of these women are missing too. They make it so hard, so I don't blame the guys. They make it so hard to get in the pussy. They have like a shield of trauma. It's fucking stupid. Because you're resisting your own healing, baby. And every time I do it, they realise that by the end. And we're all happy and blah, 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 cleared out of what? Ego trauma. Exactly. It's not from the spirit. The spirit's not the one all traumatic. It's the ego, right? And I'm a healer, I'm a shaman, blah, blah, blah. So I'm very good at that healing. I love sexual healing. It's fantastic because it raises a lot of energy. It's better than meditation, and I will meditate after and before, and I'll clear myself of their energies. I tell you what, the second chick, for about 2 days after, I had to meditate her trauma off my nervous system. Like, it was crazy. I started having like her thoughts. It was so heavy duty because she was a spiritual girl. She's not an organic portal. She's working with rocks and stuff. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, no, it's just funny how they think they're always right, because I keep finding the exact opposite, that women are like never right. They can't logically proceed through conversations even. They just get emotional and then they get angry or something that they've got no point. Or they get embarrassed and they have to retreat because they've got no point. Now, I'm not saying women never have a point, because as head of creation, they damn well should. And often they do. They do have good points. They're always very much lower points, though. So I always have to reiterate what I'm saying and then show them why their point's a lower point. For instance, let's go back over it then if you didn't get what I'm saying. So when I said to that chick, what am I going to do? Am I going to befriend every girl, be super nice, and then I'm ended up stuck in 1,000 messages a day for nothing? So am I just a simp? I'm just a guy, and guys have to be nice to women, and we should just all be your friends. It's so fucking stupid. I don't even want to repeat it. You know? This is a joke, but that's what they want, right? Because it's safe. They feel good, which is emotional. It's not logic. Because the logic breaks down real quick. And, you know, it's just the same thing with both these chicks. Like, if you try and tell them anything, they're super empowered now to the point that they just think, you know, they're God. And anything a guy says seems to be more like some cretin speaking. That's how they treat you, right? It's like you don't even have the officiality or something to speak, male. That's how I feel half the time, I'll tell you. But then you quickly shut them down with logic in like one sentence, and it's like, what can you do? Can you see yourself, woman? You know what I mean? Like, are you observing yourself? Fuck. Anyway, I think I made enough points. I'm going to go to the beach. Was there a whole title for this video? Yeah, I don't know what the title for this video is. I just wanted to explain those experiences. Because it's part of... I guess this is going to be a Mgtow video. I don't know what I'm going to call it because, you know, Mgtow at its height is don't even speak or look at women and don't interact with them or anything, right? But what's the point of that? Unless you're just fully focused on your great work or something, you're still gonna, you know, want to talk to women and shit. And I mean, great, okay, for semen retention and stuff, but again, I keep saying this, what does that all amount to? You just holding your sperm for what reason? You know, just to build muscle, okay, at least it's a little goal, but it's meant to all be for great work. Is what I'm saying. In the end, all this stuff is meant to be so that you have more power, more time, better intellect, etc., etc. But for what? For great work. Whatever that is for you. But it should be spiritual. It shouldn't just be bodybuilder, I'll make a YouTube channel on how to build hypertrophy. You know what I mean? That could be some people's great work, but are we going to get an oversaturation of this? You know what I mean? It's already there. That tells me that's not your true great work, because your true great work will be very individual, right? So all those guys are organic portals, once again, sorry to break the news to you, in most cases, because again, it could be their great work to show you how to build muscles, but it's like oversaturated, so clearly it's not everybody's great work, like fuck. And it's not spiritual. Great work is bringing something new in, new ideas. Yeah, so I was saying to her too, the married one, I was like, well, most people, like even her, she's like, I would like to get back into my art. And I said, well, there you go, that's an example of great work. At least you understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But I'm like, society doesn't even let us have the time for that. Do you even have time to meditate for 2 days? Because 20 minutes at the end of the day, that's not a meditation. That's calming down. Calming down, ready to go into meditation. Right, that's the doctor's orders, because he's got a white coat on. He's not psychedelic in the psychedelic coat. It's not the proper shaman doctor. He's just a fraction of us, the normal doctor. Just a fraction of us. But they get all the money. You've really fucked your little world up here, eh? It's definitely the end of you humans, because this world is just like messed. It's just such a mess. Nobody knows what they're doing. There's no way. People don't create a way, right? Everybody's just being turned into a bot and a slave, right? But for the bottom line, for the bottom purpose, for the lowly purpose, the low life, not a high life. A high life is magnus opus and so on. And it's spiritual. Anyway, all development is spiritual, you know what I mean? Like, all growth. So when organic portals tell me I'm immature or something because I don't have a job, you're wrong, because I'm focusing on great work. You're the immature one because you do have a job and don't know what you're doing with yourself. AKA, you have no great work. It shows that you're soulless. If you had a soul, it would, without much effort and with great effort, exteriorize itself. So I already know that you're soulless. So anyway, yeah, just wanted to say all that stuff, put it together a bit, because I know a lot of people can't even think this well. I see it over and over. People just can't even think properly anymore. The schemata is all messed up. Schemata, your schema of the world. Because, for instance, you think growing up is conformity. So now you've saved that. Every time you tell yourself to grow up, all you're doing is conforming. Oh, I better go get a job, I better do this, get a house and kids and blah, blah, blah. None of that is actual growth. That's all in this world. This world is an eddy. It's just all circular. You're going to come back the next life and you're going to think growth is the family again. You're going to go through the same torturous shit again because you're a fucking dumbass. Donate. Get a consultation, you cheap fuck.